Do you struggle with chronic inflammation even though you're taking supplements and even medications that are supposed to be anti-inflammatory? Well, blood glucose problem may be what is driving inflammation for you. In this video, you'll learn how two different types of blood sugar problem both can lead to inflammation. And until you fix it, your anti-inflammatory supplements and medications may not be enough. This is Dr. Peter Kahn. I'm a board-certified chiropractic neurologist and board-certified in integrative medicine. Let me show you how to master your health. Now, blood glucose problems can cause more than just metabolism issues, weight gain, and brain symptoms like feeling irritable, hangry, and trouble focusing. It can also drive inflammation and make autoimmune conditions worse. Now, there are two main flavors of blood glucose dysfunction: low blood sugar and high blood sugar, each with its unique profile of symptoms, but they both lead to inflammation and eventual neuro and metabolic dysfunction. Now let's start with blood sugar. So when we say low blood sugar, this does not mean your blood sugar is low all the time. It can be a transiently low blood sugar. Typically we call this reactive hypoglycemia. Reactive means you ate some sugary, carby food and you spiked your blood sugar up because you ate that sugary food. Your blood glucose level goes up, but what goes up must come down. So when the blood sugar crashes afterwards, that's the hypoglycemia that usually people feel, and that's called reactive hypoglycemia. Now what happens is with reactive hypoglycemia or hypoglycemic states, what you're going to have is going to have decreased fuel, right? Because glucose is a source of fuel for your body, and the organ that's most sensitive to glucose fluctuation is your brain. So you're going to decrease fuel to your brain. Okay? And when your brain cells does not get enough fuel in the form of glucose, then it cannot fire. So brain cells, they fire a signal and then they rest. They fire a signal and they rest. The faster they can fire the signal, the more signal they can send out, the faster your mental processing. Okay, so we want faster frequency of firing. So when you have decreased fuel to your brain cells, you're going to have decreased frequency of firing. That means your brain cells can't fire fast enough. And that's going to start to result in brain fog, slower mental processing speed. You may have short-term memory issues. You may feel depressed, lack of motivation. So these are brain symptoms as a result. But more than just these brain symptoms, when you decrease the firing of your brain, you're going to decrease the firing of everything down below that relies on brain function. And one of those things is vagus nerve. So then you're going to decrease vagus nerve outflow, specifically to your digestive tract and to your immune system. Now, in a separate video, I have talked about vagus nerve and how that impacts immune function. But know that vagus nerve serves a very important function in dampening inflammatory response in the liver, spleen, and intestine. So when you lose vagus nerve function, you're going to increase inflammation, because your vagus nerve has this built-in function to suppress or dampen inflammation. If you lose the brake on inflammation, you're going to have more inflammation. And this is how low blood sugar can actually downstream contribute to higher inflammation levels. Another thing that this blood sugar issue can cause is insulin surges. Now that's going to be relating to this high blood sugar pattern. When you eat a very sugary food, your blood sugar spikes. As your blood sugar level go up, your pancreas will make more insulin, and insulin is a hormone that helps you to get the sugar out of the blood into your working cells so you can have energy, and it's going to store the excess as fat. So when you have high blood sugar, you're going to cause what's called insulin resistance. Insulin resistance means that you'll make too much insulin, and that insulin no longer works because you have receptor downregulation, which means that the cell surface, literally, the receptor for insulin to go into the cell, that signal is not working anymore. So because the insulin doesn't work, it can't do its job, which is to get the glucose out of the cell. That's why you have the high blood sugar. Now, when you have low blood sugar, the same thing can happen because what you have is reactive hypoglycemia. It starts with a spike because you ate some sugary food and it crashes afterward. That's your low blood sugar. But when it spikes, you're going to have what's called insulin surges. And these surges of insulin, where spikes, even just temporarily from eating something like a bagel or something, can create insulin resistance, right? And if you stack insulin resistance, insulin surges every day, multiple times a day, then over time you're going to develop this more chronicity for insulin resistance. And then when you have insulin resistance, the result is your blood sugar go up. On lab work, you will see increased hemoglobin A1C. This is a marker that measures your blood sugar last 3-month average. Moreover, this is measuring the damage the blood sugar has on your body, specifically hemoglobin. But really, this is going to indicate that you have what's called increased advanced glycation end product. So AGE is an acronym for advanced glycation end product, which is a process where sugar basically caramelizes and becomes sticky. And this advanced glycation end product is very, very inflammatory. In fact, you have pattern recognition receptors in your immune system that recognize this AGE as a DAMP. DAMP stands for damage associated molecular pattern, which means cellular debris. So when you have increased blood sugar, it creates increased glycation or damage, which causes increase in tissue debris, and that's going to lead to increase in inflammation. Okay, so both roads of low blood sugar and high blood sugar both leads to inflammation. And when we have inflammation, one of the ways that you can get inflammation is through this NF-kappa B pathway. And this NF-kappa B is a self-amplifying loop of inflammation. And that can lead to Th17, which is a specific type of helper cells that drives autoimmune destruction. Which means when you have too much T helper 17 activation, these white blood cells are activated, it's going to cause your immune system to attack your tissue, and that actually causes the tissue destruction that you see in autoimmune disease. Now, of course, when you have tissue destruction, this is going to drive more DAMPs, damage associated molecular pattern, which is tissue debris, which drives more inflammation, and you can see this becomes a vicious cycle. And blood sugar could be the starting point of that. So it's so important for people with autoimmune and inflammation to stabilize the blood sugar. And blood sugar is one of those things that's often missed or even dismissed by natural healthcare practitioners or conventional doctors as a source of inflammation. And this is really something that's foundational that you need to start here. I hope you see the importance of regulating your blood sugar in dampening inflammation and controlling autoimmunity. Please let me know in the comments section what is the one big takeaway you learned from this video or new revelation. I love to hear from you and I respond personally. Now, if this video helped you, please like the video and share with others so they can get help too. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so and get notified when I release new videos. God bless you and see you in the next video.